the government system, you'll have a better country. All progressive conservatives will deregulate and let all the crooks in. That's all they've ever done. Have you ever known that, guys? So I joined the Green Party in 1970. It's 90. I helped elect Elizabeth May, a great woman. It's a woman's party. It's older men like me that really respect women. These young guys have no respect for women, unfortunately. They're listening to Jorgen the Lobster King there. Don't you ladies get a little depressed listening to this misogyny on here? Far right parties, and then making fun of Justin Trudeau. That's all right. He made mistakes. He shouldn't have put pipeline for. We said leave the oil in the sand. Oh, yeah. We said leave the oil in the sand. Is this country built on fossil fuels? With equalization payments going just out to BC, Alberta? That's why they want all the gig. This is a big country, people. It's a country we could do e-commerce if we could control these carriers and the rates. They're going up harder. You're intelligent young people and you got computers, you got technology. What are you doing? The Green Party wanted to lower the infrastructure on this, but they're lying to you. They keep on using the same ploy, taxation. Infrastructure is taxes. I'm afraid, but okay. There's a lot of things need sorting out. The healthcare system is over budgeted. Why? It's people. And the idea that they just go to the hospital, take a pill, come back and get well. Any doctor that's an ethical doctor will say that's what drives me up the wall. They just want pills. Most doctors are ethical. Some of them are very ethical, and they tell me I can't take it. And it is driving. And nurses are frontline workers. They're burning out all the time. So it's a lot to do what he said. It's up to us. Why not build a democracy under a green political platform? Start going back to a grassroots economy where you people can grow food, have houses that are affordable, and not listen to this. Build more houses because they won't. That it's been done here, and that's just raised the market prices. It's all over the place. It's all polluted. It's all polluted with foreign investment, and they put a restraint on it. I think you should look at the Canadian home and mortgage and understand this. Not listen to people that are pull up. He's a liar. Everything I've heard, even the interim leader about the helping veterans was a lie. Does that mean helping vets? You know, what are they doing? Give them money? Yeah, they can go out and get a good drunk on. But that's not a cure. That's not a cure. And they need programs, and they need a lot. So I support Wounded Warriors. It's a veterans fund, but it's private. There's the damn government's DI and like that. Ain't vet knows that they just drug you up. Did you hear what she said? Oh, I got PTSD. I just came back from Kandahar or something. Well, we have assisted death. Isn't that nice? See, that's why we have these other programs. I see men getting well and women getting well. There's so much trauma in our policing and everything. There's a lot of sexual indiscrepancies in the police force and in the military. They rape their women soldiers because it's a form of self-regulation. They made a woman look awfully embarrassed. She's probably got PTSD. She's masturbating on the beach, but they didn't have to humiliate her. She killed herself. sexual and things like that is usually post-traumatic trauma. Come on, think it out and have a little compassion. These kids are on drugs and I listen to them. They've had bad lives with their yuppie parents. Who am I blaming? An unconscious world of overconsumption. And you want more consumption. I understand you want to be happy. But do you frame the picture right? Do you want to live in massive cities around the collective that are falling down, the prices of land going up and everything? Or do you want a government that would get in there, cut out the fossil fuel subsidies so all the provinces have enough, equalize it like it used to be? That would be the Green Party and the NDP. But the Green Party didn't want to go along with the NDP. And I think she's right. And another thing is, this is Westminster parliamentary government. Every MP has a responsibility not to follow the political politics, but to follow the constituent of the province, the county or the riding. More independent MPs, it might do it. But that's the boringness of micromanaging a grassroots economy. Canada's an awful big country. Central banks are failing. And they're all tilted to commodity markets, right? Does that give you anything in a startup or a business? No, not really. And it's what's hitting us hard. Commodity market bank structures like that. You know, she was the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She had a good plan, but they ousted her. They want the commodity markets because they're all the ones that got the money. Don't want you to have any money. I'm an egalitarian. This coffee, I'll have to get some more coffee. And I need the money to go over to the coffee shop and have a coffee. If they keep on raising the markets, and you're always struggling because of free market capitalism. Am I a communist? No, I'm not a communist. I'm an egalitarian capitalist. The principle is there's enough money to go around, but there sure isn't enough for greed. And externalities of the Keynesian economic system is no good. We can use all the resources of nature to generate what we need. Wind, solar, battery storage can be developed. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. It never starts out. It starts out as a raw thing. So, but we go through and we change maybe the material, like lithium is a hard mine thing. We start working on it, using it, and developing it. But when you cut it off, you might as well throw it away. And this is just you being under control of a capitalist system of free market of 1 or 2% of the billionaires that have made money on destroying the planet. So that's why I'm not against Pierre Pawlak. He's lying. And he's using the taxpayers. You won't lower the taxes. They can't. Because the infrastructure is all tithered up. They'll tell you anything to get in power. So if I could do anything to you, I'm telling you to vote Green or NDP. I wouldn't vote for a conservative. You don't like Trudeau? He's sort of a neoliberal, isn't he? Yeah, he's tried. But at least he was working on a renewable, getting off fossil fuels and going along with the rest of the world. Now you got climate deniers coming back on the scene here. And who makes the money? Who makes the money? Oh, that guy out there in Alberta. Let's talk about this. He's making big money. He can't do the pipeline because he's doing the same damn thing all the time. He doesn't know how to manage $200 an hour. He doesn't know how to manage $200 an hour. Pipeline kid, oil patch kid. I'm gonna tell you what he's like. Nice guy, Daryl. He's got so much money. Ching, I'll go pick up some chicks on the weekend, man. So I'm doing guys' lives and everything. I said, they got wildcat rounds, boy. You better head up to. He says, I keep doing this. And he's doing it in his sleep. He's telling me. I'll take your wife. I'll do her because I got lots of money, man. He's a pipeline kid. So, that's your boyfriend that's going out there. He's got all the ching money. They get racist, spitting. We're proud of Burton racists and oil patch kids. Isn't that funny? Huh? Proud of Burton racists. Not all Alberta's bad. Just that part. Going up that oil patch area, I don't know. You can't talk anything about environmentalism. It's a dirty word. There's certain words that are unpolite. You say it, but you can't say it. I'm a climate activist. I'm against fossil fuels. That's a toxic word in this world. What's communism? What would the Ukraine tell you about Putin? What's happening in Britain? The government is supporting oil sector, and the younger people are protesting. All money going into the oil sector. No money for you kids, younger people, to develop renewables, develop computer technology, businesses online where you can work and be sustainable. You're going to need energy, won't you? Affordable energy. Renewables would do it. But they keep on telling you and demystifying the truth. Do you think I'm lying? You decide. Do you think I'm against you? Listen, I was young, and I look at you, and I think, holy cow, you're voting for him? You're just cutting your throat, kids, young people. He promises you the moon. They've always done that. DCs, they've always promised a lot. They've never followed through with anything except oil. Like Notley was getting into renewable resources in Alberta. There would have been more jobs from Albertans, a lot more jobs. Oh, she put a moratorium on it. Ask, where's the transparency in that, people? The transparency of where the money's coming from to make her cut off renewable sector. What's happened ever since COVID? Well, Joe Biden shut down the Keystone, and that got them a little bit upset. So they're trying to sustain their economy. That's good. Alberta could sustain its economy. He was Green Party of Alberta, and he had good plans, and people were listening. But what happened? She's crazy. She's put a moratorium on renewable energy. And what are they doing? They're going to print money out, and they're just going to keep this Ponzi scheme going. Meanwhile, they're discovering gold all over the place. And there's different forms of building. Now, in fact, we were going, she was living on a farm there, and she lost it. Husband took it on her, young woman. She asked me, what do you think of straw bale? Oh, hell, it's good. The installation factor is greater than any insulation that you can find anywhere. There's a lot of building designs that are very efficient. and it's using natural resources like the byproduct of hay. Heating sources. You ever heard of wood pellet fireplaces? Like when they came out, fireplaces, they had burning factors, and insurance companies put a lot of tax on them, a lot of high price. But I went to the NDP, them, and they said, don't put that in, that's pollution. Pollution. It's not out of the ground, and it's not a biofuel. It's growing trees, and it's a byproduct of sawmills that are producing furniture and producing houses and everything. They pack those little pellets, and you fill up the hopper, and that'll heat the whole house. So very natural heat with pellet stoves. They were lying again. Because I know enough about the science, so I know insurance companies are insuring them. I used to read magazines like Hero Smith Country Life. Where the hell did that go? Is it still out there? It's a good magazine. You know, it's cottage. It's all over Ontario, a lot of Northland. If you can live remote efficiently, you'd be better off. Why are they packing into high density housing? That's what the mayor's doing here. Smart growth, high density housing. Well, she says maybe these granny flats. Well, let's talk about the granny flats. I'm looking at the prices, they're going up. This is more supply and demand. And that's what he's talking about. Build more supply and demand. Up goes the price. What's the solution? I'm asking you, what's the solution to this supply and demand market with widgets that causes the price to go up? What would be the solution? You might have the answer. Let's brainstorm. Because I sure don't know. And that's the way any business should work. Everybody should have a say in a small business. And what's your opinion? What's your opinion? And brainstorm ideas. And nobody cut down that they can't put their input in. How many get that, huh? In a business. That's not good business management. You got university or college education, you got some ideas and you got to get them out there. So a great brainstorm scrum would build up a small business. That's why businesses aren't working right. The boss man isn't the leader. The leaders, let her talk. Let him talk. And that's what's happening in this world. There's bosses, but they're not leaders. Yeah, and I'm hearing it all the time. How businesses are failing. They come to me and they say they want me to join their team. I'm not joining their team. They're going down. I'll go do. I'm gonna coach them through it, but I'm not joining their team. I'm freelance. They pay me out of pocket, and I'll come in and do them. But who are they? They're a cosmetic company. I looked at their portfolio. They're messaging me. They're going down. They're a good company, but the infrastructure's wrong. Something's wrong. So it needs a scrum and getting people together and talking and listening to everybody. And what do we hire people for? What do we hire people for? You go for university, you've got skills, knowledge. I'm sure you've got creativity and ideas. And the boss man should be letting, or the boss woman should let you speak, make you feel like you're a part of a team, tribe. But there's no tribe in anything anymore. So the morale is pretty bad. I try to get a price on a broker there. I'm going to have to report her. She won't do the work. Oh, it's too busy. And what is that? There's no morale there. She's got no morale to dig in and doing something good for our company. That's sad. And I had another girl. She was working for, going to put the scrum together of my saddle producers in India. She walked out. They were depending on her. She was really enthusiastic. And that's what a young woman can do. She can get men to listen. They want to get these saddles in. She's got all these ideas. But she cold quit. She had a responsibility to get them together. She could have contacted me and said, "Sir, I can't do it." That's fine. You can go on and best luck. I'll get somebody else. But don't cold quit. Because what did that do? It made them go back into factories so they can't be manufactured. They're entrepreneurs and they got to have things going. I've been trying to help these men because this damn salary is good. So cold quitting doesn't kick it. Morality in a small business will, and unify it, will make it better. See, your parents come from a time of Mimi, and it doesn't work that way. Unity in building companies and feeling a part of something. That's why you're struggling and you don't feel well about anything. You need a unity in small business or any corporation. Google started that way very well. And that really built Google. I think it built Apple too. It was a team. But I think it got lost along the way. And companies go. I've seen good companies coming in, like Honda in Elliston, Ontario. They didn't need unions. They used a Japanese form of management. People were happy there. Unions were trying to get in. So instead of going for a smoke break, they had them exercise, stretch. And I think they saw that they were feeling better and they could do this line work. And they were producing and they were feeling enthusiastic at producing. There was a morality to the company. I talk to them now. Somebody else took over. It's North American style, and it's just not working. We were talking about keeping unions because they sometimes unions are needed. If we had a good system where we respected people, gave them opportunities to speak, and have leadership programs that people lead it instead of going around like R2D2. I heard this one day. I was in the bar there, and he's running a ski meet. Listen, I run horse shows. I never treat people like that. He's like that Toby Keith one, he comes in, you're fired, and he's on here, and give me a beer, and they slide the beer down the bar, and he doesn't grab it, and then hits the biker, so I take him outside and return him. Well, he's like that sort of kid. Well, this guy comes in there, and he's got all these little yes people running a ski event up here in Blue Mountain. I'm listening to this, just curious. Didn't want to answer the questions because he was saying, he goes up and demands the rooms be ready. I want them ready right now. They're saying yes, but they were very insulted. It's a bit management of the Blue Mountain Resorts. So why did they treat me so bad? Well, I don't know, boss. I know, but should I say no more? And this is the attitude. You get this egoic boss man. Man is humble and says, gentlemen and ladies, we're going to get a room. And I'm going to say, how are our rooms ready, ma'am? Or sir, be polite. Dale Carnegie was talking about how to influence business. Character, the way you talk to people. I'm not talking about Led Zeppelin from TVs out the windows. That's really done damage to the hotel industry. You gotta have a deposit if you look like a bum. But I'm talking about being civil and how you get nice service. It affects everybody. And what I'm hearing, oh, who's got noise? Oh, me. That's why I don't like living in apartments. So all gross. But quality in business. We were setting up in a gig up there. We're the sound tech. We had a lot of gear. We're putting cables in and stuff. You know how it was. We had mixing boards and consoles. This is a big ensemble. There was a concert in there. But the boss man comes in and yelling at us. We're sitting at the board like this. That's the sort of respect you get from a bunch of sound techs in a concert situation. You could have come in and just said, how is this coming along? You don't come in and say, you're a bunch of mess, you got wires. Well, it's getting done and we're putting the wires through. But why do we have to keep on explaining? We're the sound tech. We know what we're doing. There's nobody in here. And you're getting yelling at us. We don't work for you, buddy. We work for the band. And that's the way it was going. So, you know what I mean? Respect. Nobody likes being yelled at. I can yell. And I don't think it works too far. I notice these guys that seem to have preferred hearing and they can't hear. Are they getting yelled at? Just talking gently. Because I can yell at a horse that doesn't really get me too far. So maybe a kick in the head. I want to yell when I'm on the track and I'm training them. Because I don't like whipping them. I'm just letting them yell the way they go. But I don't yell at my people, generally. That's why we're getting a society where we will not tolerate. We will not tolerate. And it's getting so extreme that you call up and you say, are you going to disrespect me? I'm just calling you now, ma'am. Are you thinking of it? Well, let's see how it goes. Bang, bang, and hang up. So that's no middle point there, is there? Middle point of communication. Now, I hear a lot of people saying anger drives you ahead. Yeah, it's threw me ahead and it's gave me friggin' high blood pressure and almost killed me that those kids took money. So I got into meditation and using freedom technique and stuff and really sorting it out. I started seeing that they aren't going to consolidate and mediate, so I just do a lawsuit without the anger, because that's the boomerang effect if you go for a revenge. This is just a civil suit. And they brought it on. It's like Tel Aviv, and it's like war, There's always damages on both sides, and you start it, and you got to finish it. And that's what's happening in Israel. They're being hit by the Hamas, but the elements are defending them. And I can't believe the news. I support Israel, but that's another topic. Is it because I'm a Christian? No, I've had a lot of Jewish friends. And it's just, I know Hamas is a terrorist group. And it's just created a horrible picture. So the churches say there's a spiritual discernment in knowing things, isn't it? Napoleon Hill says, no, it's just knowing a scoundrel. How do you know a scoundrel? When somebody's really running down somebody else, I wouldn't listen. Napoleon Hill had that guy do that. He's going to outdo Napoleon Hill's academy. I'm not going to let him. And I'm taking him to court and I'm suing him. Napoleon Hill. But Napoleon Hill says, I see a snake riding down the road there. I'm not going to roll over and let's not talk about some ethics. He was an ethical businessman. I see a snake on the side of the road. Am I going to run over that snake? Yes, I can. No. I'm not going to do harm to the other players. So I hear this economy of dog eat dog. Who started that? The dog eat dog economy. Well, I got thinking about it. We talked, and he said to me it's about self-esteem. That's part of the ego, isn't it? What about self-compassion? I like me, but I respect them too. I like that better. You don't have to fight the. I think it's like sports. You know, if you're focusing on beating the other guy, you're gonna get beaten. It's like revenge too. But if you focus on just the game, of building a business, giving good service, producing good products, getting it. And I like integrity in business. The ideal of a Chinese company, all they're communists. Well, she's building heat tested products. The whole company is building these heat tested light products. Hell of a lot cheaper than any of the other distributors because they're all sub-supplied by China. But I didn't know that. She told me she's Cantonese and English. And she laughs. She's a Chinese laugher. She laughs at the price we pay here. He says, is he a stupid man? No, he's a nice gentleman. He's got a breeding stable. He paid that. He's a stupid man. Come on, Barbara. He doesn't know that the Chinese are producing good light care units. He'd buy that in an instant if that's a good unit. And if I show him that it's heat tested in your chambers, people are only stupid when they don't know something. That's not stupidity. That's not knowing. So don't call them stupid. But I see your point, toughness of a Chinese businesswoman that's been running that company damn well. It's called Weeaboo. And I like her. I really think she's a good businesswoman. She's got that Steve Jobs sort of attitude. So that's a capitalist system, isn't it? Well, Peter Pellap will cut off Chinese trade, and they're ostracizing them. It's like you younger people might be transgender. And that business over there says, no, we don't want you here. Get out of here. So they're close to business. Well, the same thing with China. If you close to business, you close to business. You don't have to sleep with a transgender, but he wants to buy something, maybe you would sell it. Or a gay person or a lesbian. You sell it. It's business. It's nothing to do with ideology. Because I was reading this on LinkedIn. She says you're right on there. He says no gays, no transgenders, no Democrats. And I said, then put the sign up. Simple. Close for business. That makes it easy. It's not so many words. She says, you got it. You're a businessman. You know the truth of this stuff. You go in and start restricting who comes in your store. Because you got some ideology, you better get out of business. Because you're dealing with a lot of people. And I was trying to tell them, you're not making any money doing that. You're bugging us. Go ahead. Because all you play is hip hop, and it's horrible hip hop. And the community is rich, gainful retirees that have got a lot of money. And they won't go in there. Listen, I know the majority. You look at the demographics of the area, and you start playing hip hop, and you tell me, I want my crowd. Well, it's all right. Go have a party somewhere or have a side business with the hip hop kid, girl. But don't insult me and say I don't know anything. I'm looking at the demographics of this area. There may be a jazz or a bit of classical or something. No, it's not. It's too staunch. And am I against all younger music? No, I think I listen to women, and she Men are running down Taylor Swift, and I know a lot of young ladies like Taylor Swift. She said to me, she's an older woman, an artist. Let's give her a promotion here that she writes her own music and she's talented. True. So I listen with my ears to a woman's opinion. And I said, I'd rather listen to an artist like you that hires young women and your opinion than some of these guys that are so fixed minded. This misogyny is not getting you anywhere, guys. That's why marriages don't stick together. You don't listen to your girlfriend. You don't listen to your wife, man. And you don't appreciate what you got. So the thrill's gone. I've been seeing so many young women get married. And they're out in the streets. And they don't know what to do. They put all their love into that guy. Or they come up to me and say, will you tell them something? And it has to come from me. Why? Because the transmission is not there. He's got fixed theory. Partnering with a bunch of guys and looking at other women. They're just hoodoos, girls. They're not really good women, man. But I feel like it's freedom, man. But she looks pretty good, that wife of yours over there. She came over and tell me to tell you something. What you want to hear, boss. It tells me that you're... That's pretty rude. It tells me she loves you like hell and you got a daughter at home. Go home and help. Live with her. Look how pretty that girl is. What are you giving up? You got the golden man and you're giving up for a bunch of hoodoo girls. You know, and it's party time. You're how old? 29? Good. I mean, she might be mature, but it doesn't seem like you want to take the role on. You marry a pretty lady, guy. Respect her and be a good man and go home with that daughter. Go out with her. It's a couple, not partying with a bunch of bad boys picking up these other women floozies. Am I sound like a tough dad? I'd like to be a dad. I love kids. I love girls because I've always wanted to look after them in the horse business. I don't like men hurting women. I like a good marriage and a good boyfriend. And I like a good gentleman that's got maturity. And I think it's just no appreciation for who you are. You know, Monty Roberts, he had a bunk like that. And he was muffing off at Monty. He says, hey, you know, I want you to go out and exercise those horses. Sure thing, Turkey. Turkey. I prefer Mr. Roberts or Sir. Sure thing, Turkey. So he's using the horsey way. Did you exercise those horses today? Yeah. No, you didn't. You do 5 more. And he just had them doing more and more and more. Because this is called up the level in horsemanship. He's not working out. It's called 5 Stages of Master Horsemanship. Elizabeth Kohano wrote it. And Monty did that. That guy was so exhausted by the end of the couple of weeks, he says, can I call you something else? What do you want to call me? No man's ever taught me to be a good man. Can I call you Dad? You want me to be your dad? Okay. You know, that man came out, and he got married, and he had a family, and he learned to be a gentleman and respect people. Well, respect is this knife to the throat. It doesn't work that way, kids. That's a horseman's way. And that's what a whisperer said to me in North Virginia. I can take your knife to the throat and you'll do her. You won't do her well and clean. And that's why horseman leadership programs are good. We teach you to lead a horse around a 1,200-pound horse. You learn that method, And your emotions are connected to mirror neurons of your emotions. And this is how equine assisted therapy and equine therapy works. Psychotherapy. As the horse mirrors your emotions. And you can't force anything in life. Isn't that funny? You can't, it's repulsion, retraction. You force a horse, you will never get him his willingness or her willingness to do it well. And you force a person, you'll get the response, but you won't get the passion. The passion is the kicker. When you have a business running and you're treating people to bring in the passion, you got a team. Your ego's out of the way, so you're not in duality, are you? I'd say that's a good business, and I'd say that's good leadership. And people feel secure, and they want to do the work, and they want to put in the extra mile. And what Napoleon Hill say? Go the extra mile. But how do you go the extra mile? When you feel like you're part of something, you feel like this is good, and everybody's working together, and everybody's happy. Because they're getting this passion and they feel like they're part of something. It's not the knife to the neck. That's part of the problem with our corporations. And they get so big, everybody is working from one department to another. And they're just falling apart all the time. And you go to one department, oh, I got this deal. I'll talk to them. And you can't talk to one department to another. So I was up in the hospital, and they said, the nurses say, administrators are upstairs and they don't know what we're going through. There's always a hierarchy of the system, all like Led Zeppelin said, communication breakdown. Institutions are falling apart with that sort of program. Medical systems in Canada are failing because of this institutional hierarchies that don't function and communicate. Doesn't matter how much technology you got. They can read data and stats, but they don't know what the workers, the nurses, the doctors are feeling. They have all these meetings, but I don't think they listen to each other. They had a meeting there, and they said, my God, turn this off. He's masturbating a little bit because he's mad. So they were watching. Oh, no. That's pretty bad, but that's not a good scrum. Do I think video conferencing? Well, you're at home, you should be able to do it, but I think we got to get a little bit more intimate into the passion. And really, is it respect, or I think this person's worthwhile listening to. I think everybody has got flavors that'll fit this business. That's the sort of leader you want. You ever work for anybody like that? It really gets you passionate. Just sometimes you might find somebody. And unfortunately, when you do find somebody, it's a really good model of, especially a woman entrepreneur, you go disrespect her. I saw that. She won with Fisher in the Wimbledon. Where are you? She was taking advantage of her. That woman was coaching her to be an entrepreneur. And she just got carried away. I'm down at the nail shop, get my nails done. My time? Got lots of time. You're fired. That sounds brutal, and I don't like that word. It's a business, and you're supposed to be respecting that woman. You could have learned something, young woman, but no. You didn't have any inkling to look at that as a woman that's made them successful. When you meet a successful woman and you want to be a successful entrepreneur, a businesswoman, you start listening to her. I want to be a good horse trainer. I'm apprenticing. I want to find a good horse trainer. I really admire. And I've met some, and they're gentlemen, and they have a good, soft-spoken way. Well, any business should have a good leader. And I talked to horsemen, and they said, "Oh, what's wrong with it is presidents can't lead the country, politicians can't lead the country. They're not horsemen." I think you're right. Ontario Thoroughbred and Standardbred Association wants Doug gone because they don't think like you. They don't want Doug in. They think he's a disaster. Yeah, horse people don't think like you. Napoleon Bonaparte, he led men to victory on horseback. Elizabeth I, horseback. George Washington led armies across the Delaware, horseback. These were horsemen. You might not like his politics, but he was a good leader. And that was, he was a Republican. That was, I'm stupid. What's his name? See, it's my brain. I'm thinking Reagan, Ronald Reagan, with Ellerman. CIA had to learn to ride with him. You go out shooting, and the president. I hear shots fired. There's the president out there with his gun. They had to ride with him. She wrote about this in The Power of the Herd, Linda Kohana. She says, "I'm a middle party, but I admit he was a good business person, even though he's a Republican." Any party that has a good leader will have maybe a chance to grow. So the Republicans were working good because they had horsey ways. So could this be the problem? The leadership of a non-predatory animal that we used to know how to tame and ride, and we found ways to lead, is out of the picture. What we need now is more workshops with leadership programs and equine learning programs, a weekend. Wouldn't that be fun? Get a whole team in there. I looked at a woman in Australia. She was a PhD in business leadership. And this is really rude. This is sort of misogynist thing. This other business leader said, he showed a picture, railroad track of all these crossings. But she was like that. She was all over the place with her PhD on leadership. Am I putting her down? No, she's lost. The leadership programs of these ideas have got lost along the pathway of horseman's way. And it could improve with that foundation. It's like music has a foundation, doesn't it? I think it's lost it. I think it's really lost it. You start with 1-4-5 chord, most rock and roll, blues, jazz, everything in those chord structures. There's integral parts of it, and foundations. But I don't hear it in my hip hop. I hear something very repetitive because it's a familiarity that's not going anywhere. It's stuck like a duck. It's just putting out more junk. I'm sorry. I don't think it's your music. I think a lot of your mind have it. Ask me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing some younger people getting these songs. and discovering things and writing down what they find without a smartphone. And I think that this is creativity. And I'm thinking, I use Chat GPS, and I was thinking how many hours I spent studying, but applying it, it's all right to study, but how many hours do you study? Like, I'd go to the piano, learning something. So I learned some licks. Spend an hour learning them or write them down, be able to sheet read them. We'd spend a couple of hours practicing them and playing them or implementing the knowledgeable skills and putting it down. But we just keep on absorbing data. And that's what I discovered when the phone went out. So I went to the piano and holy boy, I'm really articulating these notes and I know what I've learned. And I went back to it. And that's what I need to do. And I went on to Chat GTS. I said, how many hours should I spend studying? Because she's doing a university course online in psychology. How many hours you putting in? It's really getting tough because you're putting too many hours in. Trying to push through. What if you gap it? The 1 or 2 hours a day. Gather the information, write it down with a pen, get the handouts maybe, but start writing with a pen because it instills it into the brain. And that's why notebooks are great. There's a neurological understanding that writing with a pen is getting more information into you. Like, there is things like with me, I'm getting short-term memory. I'm getting older. So I have to hook something on the hook. Think of that. You hear me and I can't think of something. I can't remember something else to hook it on. And that's the way I'm foundated. Because my memory is starting to fail that way. I was on a lot of psychotropic drugs, and it really took a lot of healing to get my brain back in. But the brain is perceiving. Psychotropic drugs were because I was had an empathetic burnout driving taxi, listening to people's stories. I think you would too, if you're a sensitive, empathic person. So I learned something about it, and I talked to a psychiatrist. Not everybody does those jobs. And I took it, and I shouldn't have. It was just too much. How many hours do you put in? So I go out and I get a taxi some days and I give the guy a tip. He says, I'm not taking a tip off you. Why? Because I'm a chartered accountant. I just do this for an hour because I like to talk. And that was what I like to do, but boy, I was absorbing 10 to 15, 12 hours a day for 10 years of people's problems. Not that I don't like people. It made me more compassionate. I couldn't handle it. I burned out. So what did I see in Calgary Hospital? A young man with the same problem. He sees women and they're crying. Oh my Lord, please, because he's a good man. And he taught me something because I started reading Change Your Brain to Happiness. This is a psychological book and a neurological study on rewiring your brain because the neuron, it's like piano, it rewires with and fires differently. So I should start writing gratitude lists, Joseph. So worth a try. That's what this book says. I'll try it. He's taking all these antidepressants. Now I don't want to get cut off here. He had a choice to stay on those antidepressants, so I didn't tell him to get off. Please understand that. He tried it. And within a month, he texted me. Greg, what? He texted me up in Edmonton, and he was in Calgary. I'm off all these drugs. I'm not in a halfway house. I'm doing well. I'm getting into business. I'm going to be working. Because he rewired his brain with this gratitude list. Could you write a gratitude list? Maybe those little notebooks. Wake up in the morning and count your blessings, like they say. It sounds too easy, doesn't it? But it works. Gratitude journaling is a good thing. You can get little apps on your phone, but do you need them? You can get them on your computer. But if you wrote it down on paper and then transfer it when you get it done, look for your gratitude list every day. So I said, write how much gratitude you can get. You might run out of notebooks. See if you can. How many good things are in your life? Wow. So this is the power of manifesting. When we get out of that negative zone, we're attracting good things in our life, because that's all we see is good. So the smoke and mirrors of the dark side are changing these thought forms to gratitude. I think you should think about it. Have a good day.